So, welcome to Monday Club. And today we're going to talk about intentions and ritual. And this came back off a conversation that I had um, last week, and someone said, "What is the difference?" I think, we hear so much about, it's part of my ritual, or I set an intention, and yeah, really drilling down into what's the difference, why they're important, and then I've got some lovely journal prompts as well. Um, it's quite early, so shall we just start with a little breath work? So all we're going to do is take a nice deep breath in. I've lost all of my notes. I'm here like looking for all my notes. They're here somewhere. This is what happens when you plan the night before. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to put them. Um, so let's just take a nice deep breath in for the count of 5. Be careful driving, Lucy. And just create a small hold at the top for the count of 3 and then fully exhale. Nice little pause for the count of 3 at the bottom. A nice deep inhale, filling the lungs, maybe even the belly for the count of 5. Hold for the count of 3 and then a lovely nice exhale. Little hold at the bottom and then one more time in for a count of 5. Hold 3 and fully exhale. Count, hold 3 and then just allow it to become your normal breath. And I don't know if you've noticed, but just observing how breath work feels in an evening or in a morning. I find it hard in a morning to fully expand. It's like I can't get enough air in sometimes. And then if I feel like that during an evening, it's really a little note from my body saying, you need to relax. Really just play around with breath and that deepening. And sometimes, yeah, it feels like you can't get the air in, that expansion. And it might be that your body needs to soften and relax a little bit. But yeah, taking in those lovely fresh breaths for the day, fresh week. So, um, yeah, hopefully we'll have a really clear understanding, also some clear ideas of our intentions and rituals as well. Um, so they're just, yeah, we'll start off with intention. Let's start there. So an intention is a thoughtful decision. Okay, so it's about how you want to show up in the world, what you want to focus on. Um, but it's not just about setting goals. It's the whole energy that you bring. So it's that mindset, it's the direction, it's what you want to cultivate. So why it's been adopted a lot in a like spiritual language because it's really tightly connected to manifesting. So an intention will guide you through thoughts, the decisions, the action, that clarity that you want to take. And it's about embodying that feeling as well. So it's about how you want to show up. So it's not just setting a goal. I always think like kind of that corporate, I'm going to do that, that's it done. We don't stop to think about how we want to feel. So an example could be like my intention is to show up to my work with focus and mindful awareness. Um, yeah, being present with my children this week. I intend to bring more joy, more gratitude. So it's not I'm going to run 5K. It's more about that feeling. So they can be broad or they can be specific, but they always come from that place of consciousness, of intention. Um, so it's that kind of forward thinking energy. And I know for a lot of people, forward thinking planning can be overwhelming, and it's important for us to keep it in the day. So you can just do it for the day, or bigger ones for later on, whatever you feel. So it's important because it focuses that energy. So I don't know about you, but without setting an intention for the day, I get up in the morning, my head, it's like there is about 15, at least 15, browser windows open. And there are all these tabs. And it's all the things I've got to do in that day. So my energy, as soon as I wake up, is scattered. It's like I'll start doing one, and then I'm looking at another, and I've got to close that one to open that one. It's chaos. That's the minute I wake up. So my intention, I'm just setting that intention, um, just focuses my energy, just that 2, 3 minutes writing down or just thinking as I'm in the shower. So it acts like a compass, it's setting the direction for the day, knowing where I'm going to go. And it also like really taps into what I really want. So I might set an intention and I get that feeling of like, I don't really want to do that. It's like, okay, no, it's not that one today. Let's set a different one. And then it'll just align that action with purpose. So it reminds me of that bigger arch of the day, potentially the week, and keeps those actions aligned. So if I do set that intention, it's like worky, like I've got pain voice or I've got to ring up and sort out room bookings, and it's not, it's very practical. I think, I've got to do that. I've got to set out, send a client agreements. The more admin type stuff doesn't ignite. But I'm like, I'm doing it all because, that clearer vision, that bigger overarching purpose, um, and that manifestation that one day I'll have someone to do all the admin for me. That would be lush. So it keeps us aligned. Like, this is why you're doing it. Oh yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Yeah, feels great. It cultivates mindfulness because it helps us decide to take that action to move through the day. So not only does it create that mindfulness in the morning, if we're setting it, we can thread that throughout our entire day, creating a momentum. So then we start aligning our thoughts, our actions towards achieving that. It's like closing all those 15 web browsers and just trying to streamline it into just maybe 2 or 3. So that's the intention. So ritual is, without ritual, I wouldn't be able to do the intention. So ritual is a consistent practice. Okay, so it's something that you engage in that gives you that structure, that meaning. It's come from spirituality. There's a sacred essence about it. But that doesn't mean it has to be, a spiritual act. It doesn't have to be meditation. It doesn't have to be prayer. It could be the first thing that you do in the morning is make your bed. That could be a ritual that you have. It's small everyday habits. Or it could be larger ceremonial acts. So working with the moon, for example, is a ritual that, the new moon, full moon, seeing what, I suppose it's become a daily ritual in that I'll find out what's going on every single day, energy wise. but it's what's intentionally behind it. So it's practice that helps you keep focused as well, on those spiritual beliefs. I feel like for me, that ritual helps condense the 15 web browser, at least 15 that are open. It makes me grounded. So it keeps me closer to my intentions because I can't act or be aligned or take action with any of those intentions if I'm not in a place of connectedness and of groundedness. So the ritual might be starting the morning with meditation. Um, my really, really simple one of just stepping outside, just get down the stairs, open that back door, and just step outside, even for 30 seconds. So just to ground. I haven't got a beach by my back door. I haven't got a forest. It's actually pavement, but I still do it. Um, it's that kind of connectedness. We're awake, the day begins, look up to the sky, take that deep breath in as the kettle boils. It's just very, 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 very simple. Um, I talked about this loads, lighting the candle as I put the kettle on to set that intention for the day. So those little physical actions, I guess. So it can be quite tangible in when we're working with this sacredness and on a ritual of things that aren't tangible. You can't see them, you can't touch them. But a ritual will put the physical action in place. So yeah, it might be lighting that candle or holding that cup of tea or cacao or coffee or whatever it is, feeling that warmth, that mindfulness, speaking your intention into that for the day. So the reason why ritual is important and how they're just so linked together is it creates the structure and stability. It provides that consistency, which can be really grounding. Now, if somebody said to me, "Oh, you like do you like consistent practice?" It's weird because I'd be like, "Oh no, no, I'm rubbish with like routine. I'm just quite chaotic." And yet that never ever fails. Um, yeah, but because it's so simple, it's just become part of my day now, like brushing my teeth, also making my bed, that kind of so that that bed is made for when I get back into bed. So those little things. Um, and I think ritual became really important for a lot of us during lockdown. I mean, less so for me during the end of lockdown, but there was a very need to control, um, not in an unhealthy sense, but there was just that chaos around us. The world was in chaos. And I know that we're not in a pandemic now, but ritual can be really, really helpful because there are so many things going on in the world. There always has been, there always will be. At the moment it can feel particularly spiky with what we've going on, but this kind of routine can just foster that peace, that clarity. And if you have got that faith, that spirituality, it can really make that difference, that connection of knowing that everything's going to be okay. It enhances the meaning and connection. Just giving life that simplicity and more meaning. It's not just about performing the actions, it's about creating that space, whether that be stepping outside to take that breath, whether you have like a little altar or you have just space to come and sit down and just ground connect. It's like kind of connecting to a deeper level of self as well. I've got so many clients that can't sit with themselves, like even to, kind of grab that water and just stop and think. People will start with 2, 3 minutes. It's really hard because a lot of the time we're living and acting from up here. So it supports your emotional health and well-being because you're checking in with yourself. Checking in with yourself reduces that stress. As I've just said, that noticing of like how you breathe in the morning, that 5 deep cleansing breaths in the morning, of that, oh, actually, I'm not breathing very deeply. It will tell me something's off, something's not quite right. That allows me to check in and make adjustments where necessary. Um, and it reinforces those intentions so that it's a really powerful way to manifest those intentions as well. To take that time, you might want to incorporate a little visualization into like, yeah, that's what, okay, I'm going to do a retreat in October. That's what I'm going to keep in mind. It's going to push you when you do that mindfully to make those contacts or start creating something. It just kind of reinforces that purpose, that energy behind that intention of your why. I'm always talking about what's your why behind it. Um, so hopefully that gives an overview and the difference. So remember, intentions, the focus on the purpose, and ritual is the practice or the action. So intention, if you like, is like putting the postcode into the sat nav, setting that direction on the map. You're deciding where you want to go, how you want it to be, to feel, without having any specific action at that point. But ritual is what's going to support those intentions. So, like those steps to get there, like keeping the fuel tank filled up, checking the MOT of the car to reach that destination, staying aligned. So yeah, the examples, intention. I intend to be more present and mindful in my life. A ritual could be practicing mindfulness each day. Something like meditation, taking mindful walks, setting time aside to focus on your breath, so that you get to the place of the intention to be more present and mindful in your life. Um, and so you can see how they just work together. So little journal prompts for setting intentions. So one is like, what is one intention I want to set myself today or for this week? Be really specific on what you want to focus on. It could be emotional, mental, physical, social, relational, anything, but just one. So remember those web browsers, they're all open. We're just going to pick one. It's always my struggle. Like reams and reams and reams. Just pick one. And how you want to feel as you move through today. How do you want to feel? So you might be starting a new job today, for example. How go beyond the tasks of what you need to do to get yourself there. How do you want to like embody this intention? If you want to feel calm and confident through the day, um, yeah, just saying this is how I want to feel as I go through the day. Just thinking of those words has such like a neuro-linguistic programming in the brain. So as we write it down, like the research now on journaling is incredible. As you write it down or you speak it, if you can speak it out loud, it has more power than just thinking it in your head. But of that, I'm going to move through my day with confidence, with clarity, and with an air of calm. Every time you find yourself doing the opposite, your brain will loop you back. It's incredibly clever. Um, yeah, the programming that goes on. Um, So other things like, what action can I take today to bring this intention into my life? So thinking about a small step or action. So it might be that you want to come up with a little mantra for that confidence. It might be that you want to put on a certain colour, you want your hair a certain way, or you want something that just brings, like maybe a photograph. It's like, yes, that was the time. Remind yourself the last time you felt confident. Um, what limiting beliefs and obstacles might arise, how you can work through them. This is really, really important. Really important to think about obstacles. I always talk about this when manifesting as well, because the problem we can come to is we have all of this, like before the world's woken up, we can have all these intentions, and we can feel quite calm and grounded and connected, and then something will happen, like four cats all wanting to use the same litter tray at once, or the dog bolting it out of the front door as you're trying to get the girls on the school run. Things can happen that will quickly topple, like Jenga. It's like it will all crash to the floor. It could be a small thing. And there's that kind of all or nothing thinking, like stage ruined. I'm so guilty. But it can take us by surprise, especially if we've had that lovely setup in a morning, and then the reality of life happening, and can come in. So just really important to stop and consider what some of the challenges are that you might face. If you're thinking you want to show up with confidence, with calmness, and that inner critic is like, but you're so chaotic, you're so this, you're so that, get ready to speak back to her. Like, this is a new chapter. This is a brand new job, and this is how I'm choosing to show up. So, yes, there has been times, there's parts of me that can be quite chaotic, but they're the beautiful parts that also can be creative, that can allow prioritization because it's not fixed, we're not rigid. So really inviting that compassion into any challenges of how you're going to work through them. Um, and that could be like turning up late, so you might want to leave 10 minutes earlier, that sort of thing. Um, and ask yourself how you're going to know when you're um, living that intention fully. Like, what does it look like? What does it feel like when you're embodying that intention? How will you recognize that you're aligned? That's the other important. It's almost like a little, um, you say like an evaluation point. That it sounds very corporate. Um, but what will it feel like? It's like, yeah, this is happening. Like, I know that this is happening. I can feel it. But also, I've got three people that are showing up this morning during the live, and it's happening, and there's seven people subscribed, or what does it feel like? So journal prompts, just quickly, I'm aware of time for creating ritual. This is all going to be on your handout. So what small ritual could you create that will support your intention? I've used the example before about I always drink like a pint of water in the morning. That aligns with an intention about being hydrated, about being just nourishing my body better. Um, so thinking about the daily, the weekly actions that will help me stay grounded. What time of day or activity you could turn into a ritual and align. So is there part of the day you can focus more deeply, a morning routine, a lunch break, an evening wind down? Journaling for me is becoming really big. Like I've always done a little bit, but it just seems to be really becoming part of what I do now. Just like those, stepping outside, looking at the sky, taking a deep breath, connecting, thinking what my intention is for today. That's just like having a wee or brushing my teeth now. Which it wasn't at first. Like at first there was loads of blocks like, oh, it's raining, or it's this, or it's that. And just is a second nature now. Like I don't even realize that I'm doing it. And journaling has always been like that's becoming a big part. So if there's any time during the day, um, because it's something that you want to stick at and have that flex. And it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen every single day. Um, what would make it kind of special? Like rituals really special, that sacredness. So how, and this is like lighting that candle as we pop on the kettle, just creating a little bit of calm space, setting an intention before starting a task. How are you going to stay consistent? Like just journal prompt on this or just think about it. How are you going to stay consistent with this ritual when life gets busy? Because the more consistent they are, the more successful that they're going to be, the more grounded into your life they're going to be. So I think I'm going to leave it there because of the time. Remember that you can always adapt to the intention, deciding where you're going to go. You get halfway there on the journey and you go, actually, I've done a couple of like day retreats now, and actually it doesn't feel aligned, like the whole, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm going to just move it slightly over here. We're going to go in a different direction and look at more workshops or half days, or it's it can be flexible. Because remember, it's about the feeling. It's that embodiment. It's not like setting yourself that goal of I am going to do this because I know it's good for me. Um, it's something that you want to feel, you want to embody. It's about the life that you're wanting to create, the person that you want to show up as in the world. That authenticity of stripping back and just not performing, but really living that intentionally authentic led life. So I'm going to drop the hand out. I'll send the recording and I will leave it there for today. Have a lovely, lovely week. And I will see you on Wednesday if you'll come into the Moon Circle.